Okay, hi everybody. Let me get to YouTube. YouTube. What did I do? I shut everything down. Is that what I did? Really did that? Oh, no, I didn't. Hang on a minute, guys. For some reason. Okay, here we go. And it's actually May 30th, 12:45. Yay! Okay. So, hi, Gail. How are you doing? There's 24 people already here. Wonderful. Thank you for following us over. I'm going to go over Diddy. I'm going to go over Karen Reed. And then I'm going to go over addressing a lie about the court filings, because lies are prevalent on YouTube, and especially from people that are trying to mislead you. Okay, so let me go and I love how they get Diddy with like the most dumbfounded look on his face. And what is up with this? Come on. He was like, what? What's going on? So another day 12 of Sean's Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him. Another one of his former assistants, who was testifying under the name Mia, M-I-A, missing in action, Mia, to protect her privacy, described Sean P. Diddy Combs as abusive, a controlling boss who repeatedly assaulted her. She allegedly said that he allegedly climbed into her bed and he essayed her on one occasion. She was present during an incident in which he brutally beat Cassie Ventura until her head bled. We heard about that yesterday. And she spoke about the dark mood in Combs' house leading up to his alleged 2011 break-in at the home of Scott Miscuddy, better known as Kid Cudi, after he learned Miscuddy was dating Cassie Ventura. Combs pled not guilty to criminal charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay, and let's see. Let's see what happened today about what Mia testified about. Okay, let's see her testimony. Deontay, we talked about Deontay. Under cross-examination, Deontay Nash, a stylist, testified Sean Combs about his alleged abuse against Cassie Ventura. He said he also helped Cassie Ventura find outfits when she took the stand in the trial's first week because she couldn't fit into anything and she needed clothing. Cassie testified in her third trimester of pregnancy. She gave birth on Wednesday. She showed up in the first 2 days in a mock turtleneck dress. She wore a blouse with a bow and a long blazer the following day. And she concluded her testimony wearing a similar cut jacket in pinstripes. Nash testified that he also spoke to Ventura, whom he considers a close friend, the week she testified, to check up on her and ask her how she was doing. He said they didn't talk about the case. Okay, under the direct questioning, Deontay Nash said Cassie Ventura once told him that Sean Combs was making her go to a hotel for a freak-off against her wishes. On cross, Defense attorney Xavier Donaldson asked Nash why didn't he share that detail on May 17th in a meeting with prosecutors the day after Cassie's testimony. Let's see. Nash had previously said that he gave prosecutors very little in their meetings, only information they explicitly asked for. When Donaldson asked why new details surfaced in his Wednesday testimony, Nash coolly replied, "It must have been something they asked." Then Mia was called to the stand. Before Mia took the stand, Judge Aaron Subramanian explained to the jury that Mia was a pseudonym to protect the witness's privacy, and the fact she was using a pseudonym did not make her testimony have greater or lesser value. The jury and the parties will know Mia's real name, but it will not be used in open court. She said in her testimony, he, meaning Sean, has thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool. He's also essayed me. She said she once went 5 days without sleep when she was working for him. She said her hearing went. It felt like she was underwater. Her equilibrium was off. Her vision was blurred, and she burst into tears, describing herself as hysterical and unable to stop crying before Combs told her she could sleep. She said she wasn't allowed to leave his side without his permission, and that she was forbidden from locking her bedroom door while she was staying with him. She said she once left his Los Angeles home after 2 a.m. while her employer was sleeping, and she later received a call from his security staff who had been ordered to find her. She said she hardly saw anyone outside of Combs's world. As a result, as for the ban on locks, she said Combs told her, "This is my house. No one locks my doors." She testified and recounted a similar workplace dynamic, noting the highs were really high, but the lows were really low. When things got bad on the job, Sean Combs once delivered an awesome pep talk that encouraged her to prove herself, she said. She said she saw Combs attack Cassie Ventura, throw her on the ground, crack her head open, and chase her. Cassie never fought back, Mia said. She later became the director of development for Revolt Films, a media company that was owned by Sean Combs. Asked the number of times she saw Combs be violent towards Cassie Ventura, who she considered to be like a sister, she replied, "All the time. I don't have a number." She said that Cassie was packing for a trip overseas, and Sean barged in and attacked her while Mia and Nash were present. Combs eventually slammed Ventura's head into a bed frame, and Mia thought he was going to kill her. When Cassie's head began gushing blood, Combs went into protector mode. She lowered her head, recalling the incident, saying it was the first time she realized the danger all of them were in. There was a testy exchange in court just before the lunch break. Sean Combs' lead counsel, Mark Agnifilo, raised a concern about the prosecution's pattern of telling the judge about its witnesses' flights home. He accused the government of trying to get the court on its side and effectively set deadlines for when a witness testimony should end, which can pressure the defense to speed up its cross-examination. Two close friends of Cassie corroborated key details of the singer's testimony Thursday, portraying Sean as a violent and controlling man who held her career in his hands. They were back after lunch, and Judge Aaron Subramanian alerted the jury that they may be held longer than usual, later than 3 p.m., but before 4 p.m. He said that these changes are because he wants the trial to be over before the July 4th holiday. Oh, wow. Woohoo! Okay. Mia described the mood at Sean Combs' Los Angeles home as dark and ominous on December 22nd of 2011 when Sean found out that Cassie was dating Kid Cudi. Sean allegedly broke into Cudi's home that day and later also allegedly brutally attacked Cassie Ventura. She was at Combs' house that morning preparing to leave for a trip to New York City. She only briefly saw Cassie at a distance in a black SUV. The energy felt really bad, but in a different way than normal. She had never seen Ventura do something to cause Combs to be upset in the way that he was that day, she said. Let's see. Mia described candle wax everywhere and wet towels all over the rooms during freak-offs. She had to clean the rooms afterwards. She testified she saw broken glass, water all over the floor, sometimes blood, which Combs explained was period blood. Ew. Hotel nights were followed by long stretches of rest the couple would refer to as man down, when Sean Combs and Cassie would hole up in a hotel room and sleep for a day or two or three. Mia talked about 2 instances when she saw Cassie during or just before a hotel night or freak-off with Combs. In one case, she said Cassie Ventura opened the door when Mia was delivering an item to Sean's room. Cassie was in a blue wig. Mia said she appeared to be struggling and looked different than she'd seen her, prompting her to ask if she was okay. Another time, Mia said Cassie was really nervous as she told Mia Puff wants to have a hotel night. Ventura was so upset that she felt ill with stomach issues, Mia said. Sean has thrown a bowl of spaghetti at Mia, as well as turkey meat, a phone, a computer. During the spaghetti bowl incident, Mia said that Sean Combs was upset because she attempted to leave his presence to change her feminine product. After he threw the bowl, Mia said he told her to get the F out of his house. Mia said she felt terrified, humiliated, and confused by his behavior, and no one intervened to stop him. Like, what did I do so wrong, she recalled thinking. One day in 2013, she testified Sean took her phone and ran into the men's room at his cable TV office, Revolt Network. Mia said she chased after him and was partially inside the bathroom when Combs slammed the door on her arm. She thought at first it was an accident, but he slammed it on her again, multiple times. He ended up fleeing the building with her phone. At the time, she took the incident as some kind of bullying joke. She thought Combs told her he wanted to have something on her because she had things on him. She said she made a lot of excuses for him in her head. Prosecutors allege that Mia was groped by Sean and forced to perform something orally on him, and that once he got her into bed, he SA'd her. She testified that Sean first SA'd her in a penthouse suite at the Plaza Hotel around the time of his 40th birthday after he asked her to do vodka shots with him in the kitchen. She said she was standing against the wall and remembered he was talking, and all of a sudden his face got closer. I didn't know what was happening. And she said a witness, his former assistant, said she didn't vocally object but didn't want him to do what came next. He leaned in to kiss me and put his hand up the side of my dress, she said. And as she spoke, she kept her head down and her loose hair covered her face. She said, let's see here, that she was crying on the stand talking about this. She said that she was sleeping in a spare room and had left the door unlocked because it was a house rule. She said she woke up to find Sean on top of her, and he was forcing himself on her. She just froze. She didn't react. It was very quick, but it felt like forever, she said. Explaining why she never reported what happened, she testified that way before #MeToo, it was way before social media, it was way before mental health awareness or SA awareness, and it seemed unfathomable to file complaints against her boss, a rich and famous hip-hop mogul who she feared would ruin her life if she spoke out. She added there was no way she would have reported his alleged abuse to his HR department, which she only ever saw used to punish employees who he was unhappy with. Let's see what else she's... She was done for the day. She's going to return tomorrow and continue testifying. Sean Combs' son, Christian, Justin, and Quincy were in the courthouse on Thursday as the trial brought testimony from his former employee and the alleged victim, Mia. So his sons were all there when they were testifying about this. Combs' mother, Janice, was also present, but his daughters, Chance, Jesse, and Delilah, have not been in court since Cassie Ventura testified during the trial's first week. Before leaving for the day, Sean's defense petitioned the court for more access to him after hours. He's being held in the Brooklyn jail, and his lawyers would like to hold meetings with him at the courthouse until 10 p.m. Mark Agnifilo, Combs' lead counsel, said that the trial may still be bumping up against the July 4th holiday, even if the prosecution is able to wrap up its segment earlier than expected in mid-June. If the prosecution calls fewer witnesses, Mark said the defense might need to adjust its own lineup, and it might take longer than planned, so a long trial either way. Okay, so that's Sean Diddy stuff now. Hang on, let me get back to you guys. All right. Hi, Denise. Linda Uribe. Good to see you, Linda Uribe. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time, Linda Uribe. How's it going, Linda? Everybody hit the likes. Okay, let's go and Karen Reed, the defense, the prosecution rested today for Karen Reed. Got a okay. So, prosecutors rested their case Thursday morning after the accident reconstructionist Judson Welcher finished his testimony and left the stand. The judge, Beverly Canoni, sent the jury out of the courtroom. They had a brief recess. At about 11:25 a.m., she spoke with the attorneys at sidebar. Following that, she called the jurors back and dismissed them shortly before 11:50, telling them the retrial is progressing ahead of schedule. She asked them to return Friday for a full day of court. Prosecution rested. Karen Reed's attorneys will have the opportunity to call their witnesses and present their case. Fielding questions from reporters outside the courthouse, Karen Reed said it remains to be determined whether she will take the stand in her own defense, a generally rare occurrence. She said the defense's case will last 1.5 to 2 weeks. The first defense witness will be Matthew De Sogra from Delta, a company whose experts specialize in accident reconstruction, biomechanics, event data recorders, and digital media, according to the website. Asked to summarize the prosecution's case, Karen Reed offered a one-word assessment: unjust. And let's see. The crash reconstructionist joked as he finished his testimony, saying, and I quote, "I suggest I bored some of these people to death already." And Alessi was hammering him in a cross-examination because Welcher estimated the tail light was probably within an inch of making contact with O'Keefe's Chevy. We tried all these different angles, which is why all these slides are in there, he said. Asked why there wasn't a clear gap depicted in the digital image, he explained flat two-dimensional images tend to lose some of their depth. That's why I showed it from all these different angles, he said. Pivoting to the suspension of Reed's Lexus, Alessi suggested the SUV could be raised 3 inches or lowered too. Welcher said his company, Aperture LLC, acquired an identical Lexus SUV for testing, and they matched its measurements to those recorded while Reed's car was housed at the Canton Police Department. Alessi asked Welcher for the suspension height of Reed's SUV at the time it made contact with O'Keefe's car on the morning of January 29th of 2022. Welcher said Aperture assumed the vehicle was at the same height as the measurements taken by the Canton Police Department, as that was the best information they had. And Alessi fired back, well, that information isn't very good, noting the vehicle's suspension adjusts automatically at speeds greater than 20 miles per hour. Welcher, however, pointed out Karen Reed was reversing much more slowly in O'Keefe's driveway, meaning that the suspension likely would have been the same height as when the vehicle was stationary. Alessi asked if Welcher knew whether the vehicle suspension locks during the testing of its infotainment system, and Welcher said he did not. He also confirmed that he didn't know whether the SUV's suspension height would have been during the events outside of 34 Fairview Road after midnight on the 29th. So you don't have the suspension height for that key date, do you, sir? Alessi asked, and Welcher answered, I only have it 2 days later. Alessi asked how common tech stream events were in the time Reed owned the Lexus SUV, and Welcher tallied 18 events prior to the day O'Keefe died. Alessi pointed out the impact between the two SUVs in the driveway at O'Keefe's house didn't produce a tech stream event. Correct. It was too minor, Welcher said. Asked why the vehicle didn't record a tech stream event for the alleged impact with O'Keefe, who weighed thousands of pounds less than an SUV, Welcher explained system in Reed's Lexus is actually triggered by factors such as excessive acceleration, steering, or braking. In other words, Alessi noted, the tech stream system doesn't necessarily register when a collision occurs. With that, he concluded his cross-examination. On redirect, Welcher told Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan that even though the Ring cameras at O'Keefe's home were later replaced, his findings about the driveway collision weren't affected. He also denied having any concern that information from his scans was somehow tainted, compromised, or inadequate. No, the data's fine, Welcher testified. Brendan asked a series of pointed questions about whether Welcher had ever used Signal or a similar encrypted messaging app to communicate with prosecutors. An apparent dig at the defense attorney Alan Jackson's use of Signal to communicate with the defense crash expert. Welcher denied using Signal and said he would never use an encrypted app for the purposes of avoiding having his communications tracked. Alessi stepped up for a few additional questions, mainly about confirmation bias. Welcher testified that he started working on Karen Reed's case with the hypothesis that the Lexus didn't contact Mr. O'Keefe, and then he looked at evidence to either include or exclude that hypothesis. So theoretically, he added, my confirmation bias that starts with a bias that it didn't happen. He said he didn't include a hypothesis in his presentation if he was able to eliminate them. I mean, I had 130 slides. I suspect I bored some of these people to death already, Welcher said, so I didn't include everything. Dr. Welcher, you're all set, said the judge. And he said, okay, thank you. And he left the stand. Brendan played a clip from Reed's April 2024 interview for Investigation Discovery docuseries. In the video, Karen Reed recalled speculating about her potential culpability in the immediate aftermath of John O'Keefe's death, and she said she raised those concerns with defense attorney David Yannetti soon after hiring him. Like, David, what if I ran his foot over? Or what if I clipped him in the knee? And he passed out? Or went to care for himself and he threw up or passed out? Reed recalled in the clip, and David said, yeah, then you have some element of culpability. Okay, and that's the end of that. Now, let me go back. Over here. And now I'm going to address something concerning my legal case. So last night I read to you guys the filings from my attorney. And I said to you last night, his filings were on time. And there are multiple people connected to the plaintiff in this case, in my case, that are going around and saying a lot of things. And the things that they're saying is that my lawyer was late filing. It said it had to be in on the 26th, no exceptions, yada, yada, yada. Well, these people who are spouting off BS because the judge obviously, when he made that date, did not realize that it was Memorial Day. So go look up Southern District of New York, go look up the regulations. You can't make a filing be due on a holiday. Memorial Day was the 26th. It specifically states if the due date falls on a holiday, such as Memorial Day, the date moves up. It never moves back. It only moves up to the next business day, which was the 27th, which was when the filing was put in. So my lawyer was not late at all. So all these day late and $1 short, they're the ones that are a day late and $1 short to procedures in a federal courtroom. You're the ones that look stupid. Okay, so yeah. And let's see what else is going on. Just going to take a look about any other things that are in the news because I haven't really looked in the news. Let's see. Savannah Chrisley, per dad, out of prison. Hope he showered well. Just all about Diddy on there, huh? Wow, everything is Diddy. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Okay, so I think we're going to look. Let's see what's good on. Let me do the word cookies, and then we're probably going to go and do a members and Patreon movie night. And thank you to all our members, and thank you to all of our Patreons. It really helps support our channel, and we appreciate it very much. Okay. I'm going to spin that. And uh-oh, I'm in the wrong one. Okay, why is this so small? Hold on a minute. My chat is so tiny. It's like I can't even read it. I don't understand. What's wrong with this? Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we'll do the daily, and then we're going to go see what is good to watch. Let's see. Where's High 61? Murder of Crows. Heart Made Wise. It's My Players of the Word Game. Victoria. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Cheaters. It's weird. This is weird. This is weird. Okay, and now let's gossip. What are we going to gossip about? Gossip. Gossip. Okay, we're done there. Okay, so now we're going to go look for something to watch, okay? Let's see what's good to watch now. I'm going to go look right now. Best stuff to watch on Netflix. Let's try Netflix first, okay? Doodly doodly doo. 30 best movies on Netflix right now. Okay, it says, let me see, Past Lives, Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay, phenomenal film, hasn't been on Netflix before, it's a must-see, one of the 2 best films of the decade, stars Greta Lee and Teo Yo as a couple who were close as children but reunite years later after she immigrated to the United States. It's as much a story of what people leave behind when they change their entire lives as it is a traditional story of unrequited love. It's beautiful and unforgettable. And then Ali, about Muhammad Ali, American Gangster, that's old stuff. Carol from 2015, these are all old. What is this? Do the Right Thing from 1989. Come on. Dune Part 2. Field of Dreams. Oh my gosh, another 89. His Three Daughters. What a gorgeous piece of dramatic filmmaking this is. An acting showcase for stunning performers. A tearjerker, it unfolds like a great theater as Carrie Coon, Elizabeth Olsen, and Natasha Lyon, doing the best work of her career, play 3 sisters that come home for the final days of their father's life. Funny, tender, and incredibly emotional. It's one of the best films of 2024. His Three Daughters. Elizabeth Olsen, isn't that the one that played in Handmaid's Tale? And then next, Parasite. I remember my daughter watching that. Remember when this incredible film actually won the Oscar for Best Picture? It felt like anything was possible. Already a half-decade old. Take the chance to revisit this masterpiece, a scathing thriller that shifts issues of class and privilege into an unforgettable piece of storytelling. The Place Beyond the Pines. Let's see. Ryan Gosling, Ben Mendelsohn, Bradley Cooper, It's a ripple effect of criminal behavior and how it can impact across generations. It's smarter and better in every way than it got credit for when it was released. It's a crime drama, divided audiences when it was released, but it's definitely worth a reappreciation now, anchored by a great ensemble. The Place Beyond the Pines. Pride and Prejudice, it says, The Power of the Dog, The Remarkable Life of Ibelin. A young man named Matt Steen succumbed to a horrible degenerative disease with which he was born, and his parents discovered that he had an incredibly rich online life in the world of Warcraft. Benjamin reused footage from the actual game to tell a moving story of how people can connect across the world through online lives that are powerful and important. Bring tissues for this one. The Room Next Door. Arguably the most underrated film of 2024, this drama is showcase for the remarkable talents of its stars Julianne Moore and Tilda Swinton. The latter plays a journalist dying of cancer who asks an old friend of hers to move into the room next door as she plans her end of life. A movie about finding the beauty in every minute we have on the planet. This one is a gem. 1917, The Dark Knight, Godzilla -1, Heat, Rebel Ridge, Starship Troopers, The Breakfast Club, get out of here, Hitman, Magic Mike, Psycho, it's back on. Did anybody hear anything good there? Did anybody hear anything good on Netflix there? Let's see. Anybody? Did anybody? Let me look on, see what's on HBO Max. $30 best on HBO and Max. Let's see. Okay, what does it say? It says, Duster, Conan O'Brien, The Last of Us, The Rehearsal, Hacks, The Righteous Gemstones, The White Lotus, Common Side Effects, Banshee, The Pit, It's Florida Man, The Penguin, Industry, House of the Dragon, Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Warrior, Sex and the City, the other two, Somebody Somewhere. I think we watched that, didn't we? Succession, South Side, About Elementary. Oh my goodness. The Wire, Sopranos, I May Destroy You, Poker Face, Law and Order. I don't know. I don't see anything. Isn't that crazy? I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Nothing. Nothing, nothing. But I'm just going to give the Zoom number and then I'm going to call it a night. I'm tired. We'll see. Somebody can find something they want to watch. Okay, thank you guys, everybody. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good. How do I end this? Where's the thing to end this? End. Uh-oh. I lost my stream to end.